Have you heard of a game so controversial that people have harassed and doxxed the creator offline entirely? Well, I present to you the Coffin of Andy and Leyley. Hi, my name is Angel. This is my channel, Weebs and Dweebs, where I review and talk about anime, TV shows, movies, and video games. I also live stream on Twitch and YouTube Live, so check that out when you get the time. Now, like most people, you probably scoured the internet and you came across these characters, Andy and Leyley, or simply known as Andrew and Ashley Graves. And the sight of these pictures can send a gamer into a fit of rage. And like most curious minds, you have probably thought to yourself,
and I started thinking to myself, man, what did he do to make them that mad?
And mad they were. You see, Andrew and Ashley are not just lovers, but they're actually siblings. Now, when I call them lovers, I use that term loosely because they're not actually anything official. In fact, Ashley is the only one who even jokes at the idea of being lovers. Andrew, on the other hand, he actually has a girlfriend, or should I say ex-girlfriend, and he really didn't even care about her. Now, since this is a game review, I'm going to be talking about some of the cons. And there's not many, but it is all throughout the game. So it's like a death by 1,000 tiny little knives, right? And the biggest thing is the lack of gameplay. You see, this is a typical RPG Maker game, so it's a visual novel, and most of the gameplay resolves on go get this, go get that, go grab this, go grab that. You're going to need this, you're going to need that, put that there, put this here. And it's going to be all throughout the game. And you're going to be clicking on random little shit either to collect it because you're going to eventually need it, or you want to read the dialogue option because it's actually pretty interesting. There are some funny dialogue for random shit, and it's pretty cool. Next up is going to be the puzzles. You're going to come across puzzles every now and then in this game. The puzzles vary in difficulty from something so easy that a toddler can do it to something so mind-boggling difficult that you're going to be looking up online how to do. You may or may not know the answer for them. The game assumes you kind of do, but the puzzles are so vague, it's hard to know. Next up is going to be the dialogue. The dialogue is actually kind of cringe and very edgy. Now, at first, I excused this because of the trauma that Ashley and Andrew have went through. I assume that made their dialogue very edgy, kind of cynical in a way. But no, it actually turns out that everybody in this world is like a fucking edgelord or some shit, And it's very noticeable. Now, you may be asking yourself, this game sounds like it sucks. What are you trying to do here? Hear me out. Where this game shines most is in the story. And contrary to popular belief, this game is actually more than just gooning. It's about mental illness, parental abandonment, generational trauma, and then it's about gooning. You see, in order to truly invest in this game, you have to separate reality from fiction. Now, that's a big ask, I know, right? Because for some reason, people hold video games to a different standard, right? All my life, people have said, oh, games like Grand Theft Auto, they're going to make you go out and commit random acts of crime. That's not true. Or games like Call of Duty, they're going to have you go out and commit no Russian at your local movie theaters or some shit. And that's not true, right? And the incest theme in this game has been done in other popular media before, such as American Horror Story, Game of Thrones, and even like fucking Back to the Future with Marty and his mother, right? So, like I said, for some reason, people hold video games to a different standard. It's kind of ridiculous. But I also understand that some people cannot get behind this theme. And if that's you, this game isn't for you, right? There are other games to play. This one's just not for you. But if you are somebody that can push that theme to the side, take jokes as jokes, then I implore you to try this game out, because I found it well worth my time. I found it very fun, very engaging. The dialogue is interesting. The story and the lore around the world is actually very interesting. I really enjoyed it. Now, starting off with Ashley Graves, she is our driving force. She is the thing that makes everything go forward, right? Whether it's bad, whether it's good, it's probably because of Ashley. Now, Andrew, he is the opposite, the polar opposite of Ashley. He's calm, he's collective, he's level-headed. He thinks things through before actually doing them. And almost to a fault, really. Now, there are other characters in this game. I can't explain to you who they are. They're minor characters, but they do have big impacts on the main characters. But I think it would be better if you play the video game and you actually get an understanding of them yourselves. For example, the parents, right? I can explain who the parents are and what they do, but that's something that I think would benefit you if you actually play the game and you experience them for the first time without having somebody tell you, hey, these people act like this. You know, when you go out and you discover the characters on your own and you're introduced to them for the first time without having somebody else explain it to you, I think that is the best way to approach that. So currently this game is divided up into 4 chapters. Now there's only 3 chapters available, and that's only if you choose the decay route. I personally like the burial route. If you know, you know, but I think it's the better choice. But the decay route is the only one that is available. Now, there are multiple routes, multiple endings for this game. And that's all based off your dialogue choices. Something so minor and minuscule that you might not think has an impact, has a huge impact, actually. This game is very well thought out. And a lot of the choices that you do make a huge difference. So to summarize the chapters, the first one is more of an introduction. It introduces Ashley and Andrew Graves, shows who they are, how they are in this world, the predicament that they may or may not have put themselves in. Now, the second chapter, this is where things get good, okay? This introduces their parents. It shows them out in the world, in the wild, interacting with random people. This is a fun part. This is comedy heavy part. And I think this is my most favorite chapter of all. Now, the third chapter, though, this one is more dialogue heavy. Now, you will come across puzzles a lot more in this chapter too. And I think that's mainly just because of how heavy the dialogue is. They have to space it out in between the two because it's a lot of dialogue, but it's very interesting. And I think this is where you get more lore heavy and more character development. And you actually understand who the characters are and why they are the way they are, why they think the way they think. This is a very well done chapter. So this game is a typical RPG Maker game. And I think why so many people like this game is because of the art style. Ashley and Andrew, let's be honest, they're hot, all right? They are attractive characters. And I think that's what draws in a lot of people into playing this game. You know, if they looked like me, I don't think a lot of people would play. Everybody would kind of brush it under the rug. They'd be like, oh, it's just another RPG Maker game. It's one of those. And if you played RPG Maker game or you're involved in the community, it is dark. It is heavy. There are some twisted RPG Maker games out there. This one is actually on the lighter side. This one, like, it's very popular and it's easy to digest, right? It's a good introductory to RPG Maker games, at least the community, because they can make some very dark games. And this is one of the lighter ones. Okay, guys, that's a quick little review of the Coffin of Andy and Leyley. Now, this is my first YouTube video, So if you have any recommendations or any pointers or tips, please comment them down below. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, please subscribe. All right. Thank you guys. Peace out.